Now that we have an idea about the common distributions, let's talk about some concepts and putting those into practice. We'll start with the hypothesis testing. When we do an hypothesis test, we are literally doing what the name implies, conducting an hypothesis test. We want to figure out if there is a difference between the new tested hypothesis versus the default one. The default hypothesis is called H0 or null hypothesis. The hypothesis we are testing, it's called H1 or alternative hypothesis, same thing. We can have H2, H3 and so on. With hypothesis testing, we can compare any parameters like difference between means, difference between proportions, difference between variances. To do that, the procedure is 1. Define what we are hypothesizing. 2. Extract a sample from the population. 3. Find out the parameters we know from the population so we can choose the right distribution. 4. Choose which distribution to use. 5. Conduct the test. 6. State the conclusions if there is a significant evidence for a difference or not. When conducting an hypothesis test, because we are inferring from a sample, we are by default introducing an error, as we don't have all the information, so our conclusions contemplate this area variable. Let's look at this in more detail. Look at the following table. The first column is the decision rule, either to accept or reject. The second and third column have either a true null hypothesis or a false null hypothesis. We call a type 1 error, significance level or p-value, all mean the same thing, when we reject a true null hypothesis. And we call a type 2 error when we accept a false null hypothesis. The diagram below shows a more thorough examination. It is recommended to do this twice. The percentages refer to a significance level. Significance level is the percentage you are introducing as a type 1 error in your assumption. Let's say you conduct a test at 5% and reject the null hypothesis. You then conduct the test again at 1% and also reject the null hypothesis. The error is small and still rejected it, even at 1%.